In this realm of all of our human existence, we can kind of see this, we could look at it as a peculiar phenomena which is unfolding, right? It's the weaving of identity through the threads of experiences. So each thought, emotion, and encounter intertwines, gradually crafting the tapestry of one's perceived sense of self. So this intricate process, though it's very mesmerizing, possesses limitations, right? That can often remain concealed beneath its allure. So as the mind becomes entangled in the web of this identification, the boundaries of self become defined by the contours of our past occurrences. So every joy and sorrow and triumph and failure, it serves as a prism through which reality's perceived, right? But in this intricate dance, it's kind of like this distortion emerges. The world is viewed through a fractured lens, a fragmented reflection of the true essence that exists beyond the mind itself, beyond these experiences. But the mind, by its very nature, is a repository of experiences, right? A tapestry of memories woven together to form this coherent narrative. But this narrative is only a construct, right? It's a fleeting representation of reality itself, subjected to the whims of perception and interpretation. So the more an individual clings to this kind of mental fabric, the more their vision is obscured, their understanding is distorted because of the dependence and reliance upon those fragmented experiences, right? So to glimpse the unfiltered truth, we have to transcend the confinements of the mind. It's in it's only in releasing the grip of this kind of identification that this radiant self, or in Sanskrit we call it the Atman, it can really shine forth. And this journey demands an unwavering gaze within, right? An exploration beyond the conditioned layers of thought itself. So as the mind relinquishes its dominion, a profound revelation dawns upon the individual. The self is not confined to the fragments of experience, but is a boundless, unifying force that transcends the constraints of both time and memory. And in this liberation from the shackles of identification, the individual they emerge as an observer, purely an observer, a witness to the ebb and flow of existence itself. And this world, which was once distorted through those lenses of perceptions based upon those limited experiences which one is clinging to, regains its clarity as reality is apprehended with a newfound lucidity. So it's no longer tethered to the narrow perspective of past encounters, and because of that, the individual becomes a conduit for the unfiltered light of, you could say, truth, because there is no leaning towards these perceptual experiences, and an embodiment of the internal self begins to shine forth. So in essence, the nature of identity is a tapestry woven by the mind and colored by experiences and perceptions. Yet, as one transcends this construct, a profound transformation begins. The fragmented self dissolves, and it gives way to the luminous essence that resides within. So only by journeying beyond the confines of the mind can this Atman, or this sense of true self, Atman in Sanskrit, radiate its brilliance and illuminate the path to unfettered understanding. And in this state of transcendence, the boundaries between the self and the universe blur, all right, until they finally are not there. And it reveals a profound interconnectedness that defies the limitations of the ego. The individual awakens to the realizations that their existence is intricately woven into the fabric of all life, a symphony of consciousness resonating across all time and space. The pursuit of this unfiltered truth requires a radical shift in perception, right? A departure from the well-trodden pathways of the mind. It beckons the individual to delve into the depths of their being itself, to question the very nature of their identity, of their perceived identity, and to challenge the assumptions that have long held sway. So this inner voyage demands an immense amount of courage and a willingness to confront the shadows lurking within oneself, and an openness to embrace the vastness that lies beyond the mind itself, and this identification of oneself. So as the layers of identification peel away, a sense of liberation really unfolds, and this liberation from the confines of self-concept, which was built on these transient experiences, diminish, right? So the individual emerges as a vessel through which the universe experiences itself. So they become a conduit for the boundless flow of consciousness. No longer trapped within the limitations of a narrow perspective, the individual becomes a mirror reflecting the infinite, a channel through which the unfiltered essence of existence courses, right? I love this topic. It's important to recognize that this journey isn't one of this kind of like mere intellectual understanding, because we can all intellectualize these things, but it's a profound shift in consciousness that touches the very core of one's being itself. It's a journey from fragmentation to wholeness, which has always been present. It's from illusion to truth, from the conditioned mind to the expansiveness of the heart. So as the individual gazes inward and beyond, a profound stillness takes root. It's the silence that allows the symphony of existence to resound in all its harmonious complexity. So in the light of this transcendent awareness, the illusory nature of the self's constructed identity becomes evident. And the mind, which was once a labyrinth of conditioned responses, gradually surrenders its dominion to the vast expanse of consciousness. And in this surrender, the individual awakens to a truth that transcends time itself. It's a truth that's not bound by the limitations of experience, but is eternally present, ever shining, and profoundly real. All right? So in the midst of this transformative journey, the individual finds themselves standing at the threshold of a new understanding, a revelation that transcends words and concepts. It's a realization that the very act of seeking is a reflection of the mind's desire for security and identity. Yet, true liberation lies in letting go and the need to grasp and possess. So as the layers of identification continue to unravel, the individual enters a state of, it's like a profound emptiness. Not a void, right? But a fertile ground where the seeds of wisdom and insight can firmly take root. So this emptiness, it's not a negation of self, but it's a shedding of the illusions that have kept the true self obscured. It's an invitation to embrace the unknown, to dance with uncertainty, and to venture beyond the confines of the known. So in this sacred dance, the individual begins to experience a heightened sensitivity to the world around them, because they're feeling themselves interconnected, right? It's a world that is no longer filtered through the lens of past experiences. And the colors seem more vibrant, the sounds more resonant, and the sensations become more alive, and the boundaries that once separated the self from the other dissolve, and they give rise to a deep sense of empathy and this profound interconnectedness. So as the mind's grip loosens here, the individual discovers a newfound freedom, and it's this freedom that arises from not from the external circumstances, okay, but from this inner liberation that transcends the fluctuations of time. So this freedom isn't an escape from the world at all, but it's a profound engagement with it. It's an engagement that's grounded in a deep understanding of the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. So the journey to unveil the true self, it's not this linear path, but it's a spiraling exploration that leads deeper and deeper into the heart of existence. It's this journey of continuous unbecoming, a shedding of layers that reveals the timeless essence that has always been present. So in this unveiling, the individual comes to recognize that the search for identity is a futile endeavor, right? Because the true self is not something to be acquired, but something to be realized. So the individual stands at the precipice of a new beginning, a beginning that's marked by a profound shift in perception, and a shift that allows the unfiltered light of truth to shine through. As the mind's limitations dissolve, the individual becomes a vessel through which the universe expresses itself, a channel through which the sacred dance of existence itself unfolds and unfurls. And in this state of awakened awareness, the individual is no longer confined by the constructs of the past, but is a living embodiment to the eternal present. The true self, or this Atman, radiates its brilliance, unobscured by the veils of this identification. And as the individual basks in the luminous glow of the unfiltered reality, they come to realize that they are not separate from this cosmos. They are this cosmos, expressing itself. In the words of the Grateful Dead, wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. So good. Namaskar.